I'm Robin Lundberg, joined now by Paige Spiranac, who's the first brand ambassador for the new performance energy drink, JetFuel. Available exclusively in Vitamin Shop for the first 6 months, 25% off in September. And Paige, I'm guessing you're jetting everywhere nowadays, and that's why you needed to pick me up?
Yeah, definitely. The schedule is always so hectic and crazy, and I'm not a coffee drinker, and so I need something to get me rearing and ready to go, and so I love JetFuel.
What about it specifically, picks you up like that?
Yeah, so again, I'm actually really sensitive to caffeine. You're probably like, energy drink, JetFuel, how does that make sense? But it doesn't leave me with any of those jitters, and sometimes when I will drink something with a lot of caffeine, I get anxiety and it induces my anxiety even more, and before you know it, I'm bouncing off the walls, jittery and freaking out, and this is just a real natural energized boost, which I really like, and it just keeps me going throughout the day.
I recently saw you were at the US Open. What did you make of Coco Gauff winning and what she said afterwards?
Absolutely incredible. She is so much fun to watch. That entire event is something that is so incredibly special. My aunt, she actually played professional tennis, and she tried to get me into it back in the day, and I was like, you know what, I'll stick to golf. But I love watching tennis. I love watching their passion, how fiery they are, and it was a really great year, men's and women's side.
Yeah, and she feels like a star on the ascend right now, right?
Has been for years, which is crazy to say because she is so young, but she is so poised and so professional, and at that age I definitely was not like that at all, and she's someone great that we can all look up to.
Now obviously, people love to watch you golf and give your golf tips and everything, but who's your favorite golfer to watch?
Oh, I mean, unfortunately not playing as much, but everyone has to say Tiger Woods. We wouldn't be where we are without Tiger. He is so fun to watch. The shots that he hits, and again, just his passion, his competitiveness is something that we've never seen before. And I would say now current players, there are so many really amazing players. It's hard to pick, but I love Max Homa. I love how he incorporates social media into his job, because most professional athletes are a little bit nervous to get all in on social media, and he was one of the first to really do it in golf, and he has a massive loyal fan base and playing some great golf, and so I love watching what he's doing.
Do you have a prediction for the Ryder Cup?
I mean, I have to go US all the way, but I think it's going to be a really interesting Ryder Cup. Both teams are deep. Great players, going to be very competitive, and I'm interested to see how it pans out, but USA for sure.
Who's going to have to carry the load for the US?
It's interesting because you want to say someone like a Scottie Scheffler, but he has been struggling with his putting, and we know with match play that you do have to make a lot of putts. So I think someone like a Brian Harman, even though he doesn't have as much experience as some of the other players that are on the team, he's a player that I wouldn't want to go against. Someone like a Brian Harman or a Jordan Spieth, who are kind of maybe not as intimidating of players if you look at like a Scottie Scheffler or a Brooks Koepka, but they're not the types of guys you want to play match play against, because Jordan's all over the place and he's always making up and down, making these crazy shots, and Brian Harman is always sticking it close with his wedges, making those putts, and that wears you down, so look out for them.
Now, golf has been a proper game in the past. You say some people are hesitant when it comes to social media. You've made some fashion statements on the golf course. What do you make to reaction to your attire?
It's really interesting. So I was a gymnast before I switched into golf, and so I was so comfortable wearing spandex and very little of it, because that's just what you wear when you're wearing a leotard and you're competing. And so when I switched into golf, we were struggling a little bit financially, and so I didn't have the luxury to go out and buy a whole new golf appropriate wardrobe. And so I wore what was in my closet, which was workout clothes, and that's just how I learned to play the game. And I consider myself an athlete. I consider people who play golf, which is a hot take to some, athletes who play golf. Why don't we dress like athletes? They're out there, poor Lucas Glover, and he's on breathable pants, sweating like crazy, and I'm like, let's dress like athletes. And so that was always my mindset when I got into golf, and it really rubs people the wrong way, which is shocking, but I mean, they'll have really intense discussions over if they should wear shorts or pants or a blade collar or a real collar, and I'm out here just in tank tops and spandex, and people are like, what are you doing? But I love it, and I think we're starting to see that change, and fashion is such a big part of growing the game. and it's moving in the right direction.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense because golf attire to me, would be, I don't even know if I'd ever wear it, like a country club or brunch or something, not to actually play sports where I'd want basketball shorts and a jersey.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be comfortable. And again, a lot of people don't have the luxury to go out and buy a whole new golf wardrobe. You have to get specific shoes and slacks and the right polos, and sometimes you don't have that. And so to be able to find something in your closet and then go out to a public golf course, I think that is more than acceptable. And a lot of people are now starting to agree with me. It's been a long 8 years of trying to convince people, but we're getting there. I go to the range now and I see women out there with leggings and tank tops, so you're welcome to all the guys out there. And we're all comfortable now, which I think is just good.
Speaking of athletes who golf, Steph Curry, I talked to him recently and he said, he has a lot of respect for the guys on tour and he doesn't take this for granted and he thinks it would be hard, but he seemed to indicate he thinks he could play professionally if he set his mind to it. What's your reaction to that?
So I would say normally when an ex-professional athlete of another sport tries to play golf professionally, I am very much against it. Not them trying, but their belief in that it would be easy to do. I don't think a lot of people realize how good these pros truly are, and you could get to a +2, +3 handicap and still not even sniff making the tour. These guys are elite athletes and they're playing at a level that most of us can't even comprehend. But I will say, if anyone can do it, it's Steph Curry. He is a freak of nature. I mean, so incredibly athletic, good at everything that he does. And so I'm not going to bet against him, but I don't usually like when pro athletes are like, nah, I'm done with that. I'm going to go to golf now. It's like, no, it's so hard.
Now, you give advice and tips and the like, of course. What would be your advice to, considering, the way you come up from playing to, swimsuit with SI to being an influencer now, to those who are trying to make a name for themselves?
So I had a very unconventional path to everything that I've done in life. And I think that's my advice, is stick to what is authentic to you. And when I was trying to play golf professionally, it didn't feel right to me. And so I pivoted, wanted to stay in an industry that I love so much. And when I started social media, no one was doing this. There was no Instagram golf girls. Like, I paved this path for so many. And it just came out of a place of passion for this game that I love so much, and also just being authentic and being myself online. And so if you want to try to go the professional route, know that it's going to be a grind, and invest wisely with your money because it is very, very expensive. And then just keep going after it if that's what you want to do and you love it. And then when it goes to social media, I would say my advice is just be yourself. Like, your personality is everything when it comes to connecting with so many people. And if you're trying to put on a facade, people are going to see right through that. And so always try to be yourself, because I think sometimes we're looking at other people who are successful on social media and you're like, if I do it this way or if I do it this way, then I'll have the same success. And it's very much the opposite. And showing your personality is what makes people popular online now.
Same thing go for like brand partnerships, NIL deals. Obviously that's an emerging thing for college athletes.
100%. You have to find the right brands that understand your own personal brand. I think sometimes companies, when they work with influencers, they want their platform, yet they want to control everything that they do, say, and post. And then it doesn't work because their followers can see right through this act. And so my advice to companies wanting to work with influencers is find someone that aligns perfectly with your brand. And then it's really fun because you can be creative and you can create all these really exciting new ads, and it's not just, someone standing in front being like, buy this now, I love this. It's things that you actually love. And that's what I always try to do with companies I work with. I love all of the products and I would use it. And most of them I used before, and that was kind of my introduction to it. And I always decided that I would never take money if it was a product that I didn't fully love, because my trust with my followers is the most important thing. And if I lose that, then it's over.
Hence your partnership with JetFuel,
yes.
Available in Vitamin Shop the first 6 months, 25% off. Last one, Paige, better golf movie, Happy Gilmore or Caddyshack?
Oh, I have a surprise answer for you. Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup is my favorite golf movie of all time. I love it. I recently just watched it and then unfortunately got the shanks, but we're working through that right now. Hat's been twisted around, changing the change, but we're good.
So you went the serious route.
Yeah, serious route. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you so much.